You know what I like? Antechambers. Big old rooms that lead into other rooms, a vestibule for your house. And you know what vestibules are. That's right, airlocks, baby! Throw that word back on the screen. Antichamber. Antichamber is what Portal was for Source, but for Unreal. I don't mean that it's an expanded second side story to the Unreal, mostly because there hasn't been an Unreal game in literal years, but it does show off the more technical side of the engine. Antichamber is all about puzzles of the non-Euclidean variety. You loop around the same area back and forth with various changes. Looking at things changes the world around you, not looking at things changes the world around you, and just in general, the game is really mind-bendy and interesting. I love these early puzzles. They're weird, but if you can understand the headspace they were designed in, then they're easy to solve. And there's always a little, plaque that tells you what you're doing, so, it's simple to figure out what needs to be done, but doing it is tricky because it's weird. But then you start getting blocks. The manipulation guns are not like the Portal gun, but instead more like the Garry's Mod spawner tool. You pick up blocks and keep them in the gun, and then you spit them out. And as you progress through Antichamber, you pick up upgrades that let you pick up different colored blocks that behave more and more organically. You have to carefully trim green blocks like a tree to get the most blocks out of it. You move yellow blocks around like snakes, and the red blocks bloom like bacteria and are easy to duplicate. The blocks are neat, and that's about all I really can say about them. There's a pretty clean divide between the puzzles about playing with space and expectations, and the puzzles where you push blocks around and you're playing Witness meets Snake. It's a little disheartening, because if the entire game is about playing with expectations in a non-Euclidean space, I would have been positively amazed, but the rudimentary block puzzles just weren't doing it for me. Still, it doesn't hurt my opinion of the game. This is an absolutely fantastic puzzler. Maybe a little short, you can complete the game in under an hour and a half if you rush it, but completing the full interconnected map is probably going to take about 4 or 5 hours or so, and maybe more. Plus, if you deviate from the beaten path to find all these other things, you can find secret dev rooms that kind of tell you about the story of the game development. And then there's also just a puzzle that's super difficult that ends with an empty room and nothing in it. There's also a room that says under construction, but it never opens up. And there's a timer with an hour and a half ticking down, and if you let it expire, it just has more, facts for you. It doesn't give you a bad ending. It doesn't end the game. And you start in front of the exit, like the big old exit sign. And when you get to it and you open the door, there's just a plaque that tells you, no, you're not done. It's good. The game design is really, really clever. I just wish it was consistently clever, because having to count out blocks to make blockchains, you start to get into Bitcoin territory. Don't. When I say the word blockchain, it hurts my brain. Antichamber is available for $20 on PC via Steam, but it would be excellent to see this game come to consoles. It doesn't particularly do anything you couldn't do with a gamepad, and I think such a port could be possible. While Antichamber might not be the most intense, most difficult puzzler I've played, it was still an absolute treat in strangeness and offers up something I really can't describe. No, really, I don't know what else to say, so we're just going to look at some of the game for a moment and I'll shut up. Alright, you saw that? Interested? If you are, it's worth checking out. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Patreon and social media links are in the description.